Hey guys, what's up? Today with Sunny, we're talking personal branding, the power of personal branding, the importance of personal branding. What do you got to say about this?
Personal branding is everything.
What is personal branding, you think?
Putting your face out there.
That's a simple way of putting it, but it's so true.
It's as simple as that.
Your face out there, which relates to what you do or what you're into, right?
What you're doing, what you're into. And that's the biggest thing. And that's what I learned from my, my whole career in sales or whatever I was selling is always, it was about putting your face out there, making sure people know what you do, but without, being annoying about it.
So it's kind of like if you think, oh, Brendan, that's that Australian guy and he's a photographer.
Right.
Or he's a videographer.
Right.
Or he's got that podcast.
Yeah.
It puts your face with what you do because they see enough of that relatable content with your face and that product.
Yes. And I say without being annoying about it because some people don't like the fact that if you're always, just that's all you do is. Okay, for example.
Depends on how you do it, though.
See, that too, but...
There's an argument. There's definitely an argument there.
Yes, and I agree with that too. And that's why I do what I do, and I've been doing it for the longest time, and it's been successful so far. But so let's just, for example, well, I do insurance. I don't want to keep talking about insurance and blowing people up, and that's all I talk about. Or
buy, use me.
Or that, and like we talked about a couple shows ago, it's the jab, right hook. It's like don't always just talk about insurance and say, hey, hit me up for your insurance. Hey, hit me up for your insurance.
Trying to sell the whole time.
Right.
Yeah.
Provide value.
Which is educating.
Education
helping
is
other
huge.
People. Like
yes.
If you're a realtor, educate people on real estate.
Yes.
And it doesn't matter what it is, but you're an expert in it, and you're building the credibility that you are an expert in it, and you're helping other people in any which way you can.
100%. Same
Insurance
thing.
being a perfect one.
So, yeah, it is. And that's how I originally, when I first started, that's how I was doing it. I was throwing these little tidbits here and there.
Tidbits, exactly.
I can't think of one on the top of my head right now, but it's just something as simple as, hey, do you know what your insurance limits, like those numbers that you look at on your insurance declaration page, do you know what that means? If you don't,
no idea.
Yeah, if you don't,
no idea.
I'll tell you.
No, you do.
So it's just little things like that. And it goes a long ways. And I say this because I can't tell you how many times I've talked to clients over the phone, in person, new clients, existing clients. Oh, thank you so much for explaining that to me. I didn't know what that didn't know what that did.
And that was the day before, 6 months before, 2 years prior, right?
Right. And that's branding to me. It's not all about hit me up for your insurance. I'll get you the cheapest deal. It's not always about that. It's about providing the value and educating the people on what you're paying for, or what you would be paying for.
I had a girl on yesterday, a personal trainer, and she had people quoting what she had said in her videos.
Oh, wow.
How cool is that?
Yeah, that's
and
really
it's like
cool.
The video she made 6 months prior, people quoting what she said in the video. I'm like, that's exactly what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
Someone's always watching, and someone at some point will relate and will remember what you said.
Yes.
And that's what it's all about.
Yeah, and
she said it really well, actually. She'd be a good person, maybe just talk social media.
Yeah.
But she said also staying top of mind.
Right.
So she's like, if I'm always posting training content, I'm always posting fitness stuff, and someone all of a sudden decides to lose weight or go to a gym, who are they going to think of?
Yeah.
They're going to think of me.
Right.
And I was like, amen. Yeah. That's exactly what you and I preach, right?
Yes, 100%.
You need insurance. Where are you going to go?
Yeah. And well, with mine, it's like now I don't even, maybe I'm just, a little overconfident on that, but I feel like I don't have to post about insurance anymore because most people.
That's a good point, actually. You can start to now do other things.
Right.
Because you put so much work in, and you grinded so hard with the insurance that now everyone kind of knows.
Right. And
I mean, it doesn't hurt to do it here and there, but maybe rather than 10 videos on insurance, it's 1 out of 10.
Yes.
Now you can start to branch into other things.
If you'll notice my page recently, or I mean, for the past year and a half, I would say it went from insurance, something else, insurance, something else. Now it's something else, insurance, something else, insurance.
That's funny you say that, because most of my content now is my podcast, but I've still got my video, photo stuff in there. But it's definitely not as present as it was. Yeah. But I don't think it needs to be either.
It doesn't need to be anymore. And again, you have to get to that point before you can do that. And you've put in the work, I've put in the work, and now people know. It's like, so I mean, if you'll look at my page in the past month, it was probably 90% food and other stuff, and 10% insurance, maybe even less than that.
Gotcha. But it took you 2 years.
A little over 2 years to get to that point. And now, again, like I mentioned before, documenting everything, right? It's I still do that, even though I probably don't have to anymore. I still do that because now, not only does it tell people that I do insurance for food trucks, restaurants, whatever it may be, it's also spotlighting the business that I just insured.
That's the beauty, right? Kind of like this podcast. And I get to have this podcast, and then I get to highlight my guests.
Yes, and that's
it's like a win-win.
A win-win for everybody. And that's another takeaway from that is it's when you're branding yourself and putting yourself out there, it could also help somebody else at the same time. And or maybe they don't need the help, but it's still getting their name out there too that somebody didn't know about. And that happens all the time, which in a way it helps me out too. And so I like it and stuff like that.
And what comes to my mind is like there's 20,000 registered realtors in Las Vegas. So I mean, if you're one person, what are you doing differently to stand out, to build your personal brand?
Yeah.
So hey, Brendan the realtor stands out, and you think realty over the other 19,999 people. I mean, what you got to do something. You can't sit back and twiddle your thumbs.
Especially in that industry, it's huge. I mean, and everybody, almost everybody that I know, they know how to stand out, and good for them. But
a lot of them struggle too.
That's what I was going to say. Like some of them don't, and
it doesn't mean you're a better realtor if you're more present. You're just more present, you're top of mind.
Top of mind.
And we talk about
keywords. Top of mind.
Top of mind. Top of mind meaning what I just said.
Yeah.
You think insurance, you think Sonny. You think content, you think me.
And
you think podcasts, you're going to think me.
Yes, 100%. And just prime example, like we just talked about, if you go back and look at my Facebook page, this whole month, I've been talking about, I've been posting videos of food, pictures of food, the wine festival, the food truck and wine walk that I went to, the food truck festival, the taco festival before that. And then yesterday, I just posted a screenshot of a couple of the food trucks. I'm working on insurance for them. Actually, there was 4 that I'm working on, 2 that I tried, but I couldn't help them, and 2 that I had just got them new insurance and they signed up. And all it was is a screenshot of my working page on my insurance, on my farmer's insurance thing. And I posted a screenshot of that on all the food truck groups. I've got 3 people right now waiting for quotes.
Oh, really?
And it's just simple stuff like that.
Yeah, simple stuff. So simple.
It is.
But if you didn't take action or you worry about what else someone thought, you wouldn't have those 3 people.
Exactly.
That's interesting.
So it's...
I think I saw this morning, and this lady was talking about documenting, and she's talking about she had a meeting. And anytime she has a meeting, when she gets out of it, she picks up her phone and she documents the meeting. Yep. And I was like, that's a great idea, because sometimes it's awkward. Like, hey, can I set up my camera and tripod and film it? Some things can't be highlighted, but things can be talked about afterwards.
But here's another perspective to that. Nowadays, people don't care if you have a camera because
you can always ask.
You can always ask, 100%.
For sure.
But yeah, you probably should always ask too because of the privacy.
I mean, it could be like, if it's real estate, it could be confidential information or something.
Right, yeah. Stuff like that I can understand.
Talking about people's budgets. Or,
right. But, I mean, film the video after you have the conversation. And make it look like you're just signing paperwork. You know, it doesn't even have to be something serious talking about all that.
But, I mean, you could film a video walking into a meeting. Hey, I'm about to meet Sonny. He's thinking about hiring me for so-and-so.
And a quick pan around is like, and with me in the background, paperwork is in the background. You just quick pan around. No one sees the confidential information in there. You're done.
And then I could ask you, hey, do you mind filming the consultation?
Right.
You're like, yeah, that's fine. And then on the way out, hey, this is how I think it went.
Yeah.
And then, like you said, it's highlighting you.
Yes.
It's highlighting your business. Yes. You just created 3 like kick-ass pieces of content out of that. And you also like. We talk about this a lot too. It's when you building your brand, putting out content, you're building credibility in your field. Mm-hmm. So if you're constantly talking about insurance, I'm constantly talking about social media, it makes you a guru in your industry.
Yeah.
And it separates you. Someone else might know more. You know that? Have you ever heard that saying, what's the best hamburger in the world?
No.
What's the best hamburger in the world?
The one, I don't know.
Nobody knows, right? When you think hamburgers, what's the first thing you think of? Like what company?
Oh, McDonald's.
And when you think soda, you think of who?
Coke.
You think of shoes, you think of who?
Nike.
And that's exactly what I'm getting at. So that power of branding, that consistent media. So if you're always giving out content on social media, you're always talking about it, your name is going to come up first over everybody else.
Yes, and
if you're always putting that stuff on real estate, your name is going to come up first over everybody else.
And I could be wrong on these numbers, but I feel like I've heard this somewhere. I think you have to get in front of someone's face like 100 times or 1,000 times, or I can't remember the exact numbers.
I keep hearing different things on this. I'm hearing 21 touches. I'm hearing it used to be 7. I'm hearing 100.
Maybe I'm just way off.
I don't know. I think it constantly changes, and I think with the amount of content coming out now, it's probably a lot higher than it used to be.
Yeah,
because there's so much. It's
so much content.
Such a flood in content.
Yeah, and that's a blessing or a curse.
Yeah, I'm not sure what it is, right?
Yeah, it's it gives you the ability to do that too, but you're also thrown in the midst of stuff like this. So more importantly, or more of a reason why whatever you do, make sure you stand out.
Do you know who Alex Hormozi is? Mm-mm. So he's an American guy. He's got this big beard, big buff dude. He's a lot bigger than I am, and really good at sales. And I think he's making $10 to $30 million a year or something.
Okay.
And he's looking at people who are making 10 times that, and he's like, why are they making so much more money than me? And he's looking at the skills, and he's realizing they're no better at sales, they're no better at business. What he realized, he didn't have a brand.
Yeah.
He didn't have a personal brand, and that was capping him at where he was. And to go that next step, he needed to build his name. He needed to build his personal brand.
Right.
Now he spends $30,000 a month on content.
Yeah.
Guess what? He's now become a household name.
Yeah.
You can't tell me his income isn't going up by being in front of more people and being more well known.
100%.
And that's the power of brand there too, right?
Power of branding and consistency.
And that's come from someone who knows the hell they're talking about.
Yeah.
And still realizing it's a cap, even at that level. Yeah. Never mind if you're just a local realtor or a local videographer. You really need to push really hard.
Yeah, 10 times is harder. If whatever you're doing, go 10x.
Literally 10x on my wrist here, right? That's why it's there. Just always thinking 10 times bigger. Yeah. Always push 10 times harder. Right. I wanted to ask you, you touched on annoying people and putting out too much content. I think I hear contradictions on that. Like you got someone like Grant Cardone is like, the more the better. Yeah. Gary Vee, blast it. But they're providing mainly value. Yeah. If not all value. Right. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, for me now, I think, I've got a pretty good mix of what I'm doing and what I'm posting. And I feel like...
And a balance of how much you post.
Balance of how much I post, which still is probably a lot to some people because I post 3, 4, 5 times a day. Again, it goes to what kind of content are you posting. Most of my stuff is all food. I mean, who doesn't love to watch food?
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's... I take that back, actually. What I meant by annoying people is whatever your field is, don't keep talking about the same thing over and over again.
Like learning to like show family photos or documenting something.
Yeah. So I mean, like
just read this book or
right. Or for example, like me being an insurance guy, I don't want to always keep saying, "Hey, I'm your insurance guy. Hey, I'm your insurance guy. Hey, hit me up for your insurance code."
Stop becoming a TV guy.
Yeah. Exactly. And you don't become that person. You can say, you know, hey, I do insurance, and hey, look at this food. Hey, here are my kids playing at the park, and hey, do something else.
So like,
and then come back to it.
Having your brand, knowing what you're trying to do, but also like diversifying just a little bit where you're comfortable.
Right.
And I can also argue too, if someone doesn't want to see your content, they can remove your Facebook.
Yeah.
They can unfollow you.
You can unfollow you. You can still be my friend and unfollow me.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to get. I've had people message me, hey, you post a little bit too much, I'm going to unfollow you. Yeah. I don't take it personally.
Yeah,
if anything, it's a compliment.
That's fine. And
I know we're still friends. They're not like hating me because
And sometimes I even go through my friends list and say, hey, I haven't heard from you in 5 years. Bye.
I need that room to follow someone cares.
I need the room to bring somebody else on board. But you know, you can't take personal offense to that. It's part of what you do. And if that person cares enough about you, you probably have their cell phone number, you know, or you have some other means of contact that will figure it out. You know, don't be scared.
And it teaches you to kind of mix up your content and try different things, and you can't just keep doing the same thing every day and expect the same result, right? I expect a different result. Right. You gotta I'm always trying different things. I'm always cutting up things a different way, different photos, different titles, different tags, different. Trying to figure out what works, what doesn't. This is working now it's not working anymore.
And that changes very quickly
all
too.
the time, right?
It's constantly changing, and that's the hardest part of keeping up with all of that too.
And we talked about it before was watching other people, watching other people. Hey, that's a great idea. I'm
copy it.
Copy and outdo it, right?
Copy and do it even better. 100%.
No one has original ideas.
No.
Everyone just takes someone else's idea and pivots.
Unless you've got it trademarked or patented somewhere, then don't come to me and say you copied my. Like I always say this too. If people copy me, great. That's a great form of flattery. Right? Great, thank you.
I copied you with the live, right? First time I met you, then I'm on live. I'm like, I haven't done live.
Please do, and I encourage more people to copy what I do. Maybe it will work in your favor. Maybe it won't, but at least you tried.
At least you try. You don't know if you don't try.
Right. I tell people this all the time. It's and same thing with mine too. When I first started doing the small business spotlights, this was back when 2020 pandemic time. I copied that idea from some agent in Wisconsin.
That's right. Yeah.
Madison, Wisconsin, in the middle of nowhere, someone was doing it, and I happened to follow them on Insurance Group on Facebook, and I just reached out and I said, hey, I even reached out to the insurance agent. I said, hey, great idea. Do you mind if I...
Oh, you did? That's cool.
I was like, I probably didn't even have to do that because that person is in Wisconsin. She would probably never know what I'm doing,
Yeah.
But, I showed the common courtesy. I said, hey, this is a great idea. Do you mind if I steal it, if I use it and with my clients? She's like, absolutely. It was like, we're in totally different states. Who cares?
Yeah. I like that.
Even if you're in the same state.
I mean, even the same city, really.
Even in the same city.
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
You have McDonald's here, they open In-N-Out
right across the street. There's Burger King.
It's just life. That's the way it works.
Yes, 100%. And if you think you're better than someone and you're not, it's like, oh, I'm not going to copy someone else's comment. copy
Yeah,
someone
or
else's
someone
content.
copies me, they're the worst person in the
It's
world.
like, get over yourself.
Yeah.
You're not that important.
So have you ever seen Shooting Strangers on TikTok? Where a photographer walks up, shoots a stranger.
Yes.
That's what got me into photography.
Right.
I was never interested in photography. And I was
wow.
like, I really liked that. I liked the idea of it. I liked
Yeah.
everything behind it. And that's what actually got me to start taking photos.
Nice.
And then I started my own version of the show in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
And it was a blast.
Which is pretty good.
A super blast.
Yeah.
And I remember going to this group photo shoot, and there was 6 or 7 photographers there. And I walked in, everybody knew me by name.
Because
Didn't mean I was any better than them. I just putting out more content related to what I did.
Right.
There's the answer, right?
Yeah, what you just said, it's you don't have to be the best at it, or you're probably not going to be the best at it. But it's the consistency of.
It's you don't have to have the best product in the world, but you do need to be known.
Yes.
And I mean, if you do have the best product in the world, but no one knows about you, no one's going to use you. 100%. And that goes back to the McDonald's thing, right? Yeah. There's way better burgers out there than McDonald's, but McDonald's is out marketing everybody.
100%.
So therefore, McDonald's hamburgers go together.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. But it is what it is. And you could have some food trucks got some amazing hamburger, but for them to get to that point, they got a long road ahead of them.
Post. And also going back to providing value and branding yourself. One of my buddies, who's also an insurance agent, just posted a video about it yesterday or this morning. I watched it. Talking about, don't make it about the price of what you sell, right? It's always provide the value, and if your client sees the value in it, they'll pay that extra money, whatever it is.
That's interesting.
Like
over delivering, right?
Over delivering. Or it's not even over delivering. You're providing value that the other person did not provide, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I've had scenarios where there was another agent representing the same company I represent, and the client wanted to go with me instead, even though mine was a little bit more higher priced than the other person's. Is because I was providing you a little bit better of a package for your business, which would make more sense. If something happened, you're going to make sure this is going to be covered and not the other policy. If you would have gotten it, you probably would have paid a little bit less and saved you $10-15 a month on your monthly payments. But catastrophe happens, then you're shit out of luck.
Then okay, that makes sense.
So or something as simple as. I'm available on the weekends, or I'm available after 5 o'clock. I'm not just 9 to 5, that for some people, that goes a long way.
And that's a nice, simple piece of content you can put out there.
And I do that all the time. Me with my laptop at home. We talked about this before. It's like, it was a couple months ago, a beautiful full moon night out, and I'm sitting outside, working, and quick shot to the moon and back to my laptop, content. What does that mean? I'm available for you.
So I've never done that. I've never put when I'm available, because I'm always just working.
Yeah, right.
But I mean, it couldn't hurt. Hey, I'm available 7 days a week, 24 hours a day.
I do that because to let people know, because insurance is a little bit different.
I guess my industry is more expected.
Yeah, it's more expected. It's
yours is more 9 to 5.
9 to 5.
Weekends
9 to
off.
5. Monday through Friday, 9 to 5.
So
and that's
it's that. Yeah, so it's got more value to it.
And
that makes sense.
Most agents out here in town, that's how they work. They work Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, and once that time is done, they leave everything at work and they go home. Most of them. I'm not talking about all of them. So I make sure I take advantage of that deficit in the industry, and I say, hey, I'm here.
I like it.
I'm here at 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 10 o'clock. Believe it or not, I've even stayed up till 11:30, midnight doing insurance policies for someone, and they're my biggest accounts. Vegas Auto Gallery, the guys that I do the insurance for, a lot of exotic cars and all that kind of stuff. Why am I their insurance guy? Because I'm available. He could call me on a Sunday afternoon. I'll pick up.
Yeah.
And
gotcha.
Here, let's go. I'm ready to go. So that's one thing everyone knows that now. If you don't know, now you know.
A cool thing about social media too, if you're putting out content and you love what you do, it's going to show.
Yeah.
You can't fake it.
Yeah, 100%.
If you're passionate about what you do, your hands are flying, your voice is going up and down. And I feel like you're more likely to be hired because, hey, this person's not just on it for the money.
Right.
They actually give a shit.
And I feel it's like when I do my lives, I feel like that. It's like, hey,
you're in the moment, right?
Like,
and you're there because you want to be.
Yes, and
you're not like, hey, I need attention. I'm gonna fake this.
Yeah, it's like every time I do it,
right? Like I love doing this.
I love doing this too, by the way.
So I mean, it doesn't need to be. It's not forced. It's just it's so organic and so real.
It's and some people, people have told me this. It's like, hey, I love your energy. Like, hey, you're always like, so full of energy on your Facebook Live because. Then if I wasn't, that would defeat the purpose of me doing the live.
Yeah, I mean, you're passionate about what you do.
Right.
But if you're in a cubicle, in some high-rise office trying to do that, it's probably not going to happen.
It's not going to happen, right.
Give you a taco and give you a food truck and you're good to go.
Fun. It's fun stuff, People, it's like, who wouldn't want to be at a taco festival?
Yeah.
Who wouldn't want to go get, taco or pizza from the pizza festival, whatever it may be. So when I do those lives, I'm in the moment. I mean, there might be a couple times here and there where, I'm a little low on energy, but...
you're lining up for you. A big thing of personal brand too is, we talk about this a lot, is it's not building a business name, it's building your name.
Yes.
So for me, like Brendan Stone Street, building my name, so building credibility. It's kind of like that, like we talked about, it's kind of like an umbrella. So your name's up here and the things you do underneath are, your name's your umbrella under your businesses.
Yes.
But the beauty about that is if you start to do something else, you're already kind of known, you're already out there. You can document your journey and you can kind of, if I want to suddenly become a realtor, hey, I'm going to start real estate school. I put that, and I document it through the training, I document getting to
100%.
So by the time I even get to becoming a realtor, people already know what I do. They know what I'm passionate about it. They know what I've learned.
Yeah.
And
everything also works hand in hand, right? Well, most of the time, depending on what you're doing. I mean, for you, if you decide to go into real estate, you can tie your real estate with your photography business, and I'm sure you could, think of ways to do that. Same thing with what I did.
Like insurance and the content.
I started with insurance, content, and then I got my notary license, and it doesn't. It's not necessarily hand in hand, but I have clients that get insurance from me sometimes, especially these new businesses that are coming. Hey, we need this to be notarized for our business licensing. Cool, come on down. I'll take care of it for you. So now that exactly what you said, you have that umbrella. So I'm Sonny, and we talked about this before. Sonny the insurance guy, Sonny the notary guy, Sonny media guy, Sonny content creator, whatever you want to say.
Yeah, and what else you want to do in the future?
Well, yeah,
because we're still young.
Yeah,
25 years time, it could be doing something completely different.
100%.
20 years, guaranteed to be doing something completely different.
Yes. And I've also thought about getting my real estate license too. And I actually started doing it, and then my insurance license came through first, so I just decided to jump ship and do that for now.
But if you ever do, you got such credibility, you got such a following, you're so connected in the community. Yeah, it's gonna help.
It's gonna help.
It's not gonna not help.
Yeah,
put it that way. If there is no disadvantages to
it. It's definitely gonna show. I mean, this hard work doesn't go to waste. That's 100%.
Yeah, it's more than just building, hey, I'm a videographer. Now that I'm not a videographer, I'm back to square one. Yeah. It's not like that, is it?
It's not. I still do the other stuff. I'll still, maybe like you taught, maybe in 5 years, I'll start my real estate, and then we'll have, broaden the spectrum a little bit more. And
if anything, it gives you more options, and it gives you the ability to kind of transition a lot easier. And it's probably a lot less scary to transition from industry to industry.
Right. Yeah.
Even going from photography into my podcast, it's helping a lot, because I know so many business owners. I'm so used to being in front of the camera. Yeah. It was just like ticked all the boxes.
Right. Yeah.
So it wasn't hard.
It's not.
And this podcast will transition back into videography or something new, or just never know.
Yeah.
Like starting to do clothing, right? So now we've got clothing, got a podcast, got a platform to showcase the clothing.
Nice.
It's
you
know what I mean? It's just another example of what I'm talking about.
Yes, 100%. I agree with that.
There's kind of a lot to it, right?
There is a lot to. I'm trying to think of. I mean, there's people out there that do that right now. There's a couple of real estate guys that I do know now. They do real estate. They do the brokerage side, for the mortgages. They have their own construction contracting team. They have their own pool building team. They have their own interior design team. It's like that's the perfect. That's it's and it's all under one umbrella, and that's what you want.